County zoning.
Sorry.
I'm convening the San Mateo County Zoning Hearing Officers Meeting of February 3rd, 2022. I'm Joel Leclerc, the Zoning Hearing Officer, and I represent the Planning and Building Department staff. So Janice, can you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Sure. Can you see that up there? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States
of America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Okay. So Mike Schaller just joined us, moving him over.
Janice,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to send my presentation to you just in case.
Sure. Go ahead and email it over. Okay, Joe, I don't see anybody on the line as attendees that has a phone number that they need to dial *9 or anything for the instructions on how to raise their hand. I just see 2, and one of them is a applicant for item 2 and 3. So I think you can go ahead and get started.
Yes. So and so we don't need to read the instructions. Just to note to everyone that because of the pandemic, we are meeting in a Zoom environment because well, we've been allowed to because the legislature has set aside otherwise applicable provisions of the Brown Act. And so the first item on the agenda is an opportunity for oral communications from the public on any matter that is not on the agenda. So Janet, can you read the instructions for that, please?
Sure. For those attending the meeting on the Zoom video conference, we will use the raised hand feature in order to organize any public comments. During the general public comment period and for items on the regular agenda, I will ask those members of the public who wish to comment to click the raised hand feature to raise or unraise your hand. Please note that members of the public must wait for my prompt in connection with each agenda item before using the raised hand function. For example, you cannot raise your hand at the beginning of the meeting if your question is for an item later in the meeting. When you hear your name called, I will prompt you to unmute your microphone and you may begin speaking. And at this point, there aren't any hand raised. Joe.
All right, thank you very much, Janet. So we'll now proceed to the regular agenda. We do not have any consent items on this week's agenda. So the first item on our agenda is planning case number PLN 2019-00077, proposed by applicant owner Ray Casey for some improvements at 231 Cuesta Real in La Honda. And it's a consideration of a non-conforming use permit to legalize 920 square feet of construction, permit 2 new decks, new roof, and a detached garage. So I'll turn to Olivia now to present the project, please.
Hi, thank you. Good morning. Oh, sorry, my camera's not on. Hi, Janice. Janice?
Can you see it on the screen?
I
Yeah.
can. Are you, mine isn't working for some reason. It's working, but only on my screen from the presentation.
Uh-huh.
I'm wondering if you might be able to display it there.
Sure, just
Oh.
do next slide when you want me to.
Oh, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Is that, so yours is on? Is that, I'm looking at yours right now?
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Mhm.
Let's see here. Good morning, county staff and members of the public. My name is Olivia Boo. I'm going to be presenting this project, going over the project scope, the compliance, and then be available for any questions. Next slide, please. This is a overview Google of the property, again, located at 231 La Cuesta in La Honda, with the nearest cross street is Canada Vista. Next slide. So the project description includes legalizing 924 square feet of construction, work done by a prior owner. It also includes a new roof, 2 new rear decks, and then it is proposing a new detached 2-car garage. Clarification, there was some discrepancies on the staff report, so staff would like to clarify that the project is for a 2-car garage, not a carport. Next. The next slides will go over the plans for the project. So this is the existing front and rear elevation. Next slide. This is the left and right elevations. Next. And now going through to the proposed elevations for the front and rear elevations. Next. And these are for the left and right elevations for the proposed project. Next. This, staff wanted to demonstrate for the existing floor plan, what is outlined in red on both floor plans. The main level is on the left. That is the former habitable, there was an exterior front porch on the house, and that is outlined in red, and that is requested. It was converted already to habitable space, and the current applicant is wanting to legalize that. Then for the basement level on the diagram on the right is for the basement area that has habitable space that is requesting to be legalized. Next. And then this is the proposed floor plan, again, for the main level on the left diagram, and then the basement level for the right diagram. Next. And this is the only photo that I have for the project. It is the left elevation, and it shows the area on the right side where the wood material and the green tarp are. That is the space for the porch that was converted without permits by the prior owner. And that is the area requesting, one of the areas requesting to be legalized. Next. For project conformity, the general plan conforms for with the visual quality and rural land use. The property is zoned for single family under the S10 zoning district, with the exceptions of the front yard setback and the minimum parcel size. The parcel does comply with the zoning district. It also complies in terms of the use permit regulations and for the environmental review. Next. This grid and the next page will show the project's compliance. So the areas, and specifically for the minimum building site area, the project is existing, parcel size is existing at 11,500 square feet. There is no change to the parcel size, but it is substandard. What the current requirement is 20,000 square feet. And then, as mentioned, the front setback is non-conforming. It has an existing 11-foot front setback to the existing house. That is not going to change. That is prompting the use permit. Also, just to add, for the proposed detached garage, normally, a detached structure is required to be in the rear half of the lot, but due to the slope, detached garages are allowed to be up to the front property line when there's more than 14% slope. This has over 40% slope. And then it is not being proposed at the front property line, but it is proposing a 6-foot front yard setback. Next. And then it does comply in terms of the floor area and the height. For parking, there is no covered parking on site, and the requirement is for 2 covered parking spaces. The applicant is proposing to do with the detached covered garage. So the project will then, upon approval, the property and the project scope will comply with the covered parking. Next. For environmental review, the project is exempt in terms of that the addition will not result in an increase of more than 50% of the floor area of the structures before the addition, or 2,500 square feet, whichever is less. And next. And for recommended findings, that the zoning hearing officer approve the non-conforming use permit by making the required findings and adopting the conditions of approval. Next. This is the conclusion of my presentation. To date, staff did not receive any public comment for the project, and I can be available for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you for that presentation, Olivia. So as you mentioned, we have no correspondence or comments on this item. I will, although there doesn't appear to be anybody, including the applicant, here from the public or the applicant representing this project, I'll still open the public hearing in case anyone would like to make a comment.
Sure, we're now opening public comment for item number 1. If your hand is raised, your name will be called for this item. And I do see one person with their hand up, Ursula Ortiz Banda. Please accept this invitation, unmute your microphone and begin speaking.
Is it on?
Yes.
Oh, hi, this is Ray. I'm actually the owner. I'm just logged on to a different name.
Okay, no problem. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I would just like to say that, you know, obviously saw the picture of the house, and it's in kind of been in disrepair like that for quite some time, many years actually. So, you know, I'm trying to, you know, renovate the home and bring it up to, you know, beautify the neighborhood and everything else. And aside from that, I just want to say thank you to Olivia for all her work through this. It's been kind of a long process here, actually, and she's been very helpful in all the aspects. So just thank you to Olivia, and I really don't have much else to say than that. So thank you.
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you.
Is there-
That was the last hand, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay, since no one else from the public appears to want to speak on this item, we'll close the public hearing. And since there were no comments affecting the shape of the project, we're going to move ahead. And I want to ask Ray if you have read and understand the findings and conditions of approval in the staff report.
Yes.
Great. So with that, I'm going to approve this project as per the staff recommendation, pursuant to the findings and standard conditions, and the conditions in the staff report. I would like to mention that this approval can be appealed to the Planning Commission in writing within 10 working days. But application for that appeal must include a $616.35 appeal fee. And the last date I'm sorry, I don't know that we've worked this out yet, but it is, I believe, the 16th of February for filing appeals. So thank you, Ray. I think we're ready to move on to item 2. And this item is a proposal by 2992 Spring Partners. It's planning case number 2021-00268. The applicant is Julio Clus, and the project site is 2992 Spring Street, Unit D, in North Fair Oaks in unincorporated county. It's a consideration of a use permit to allow a 20-seat restaurant with takeout in an existing wholesale foods product supplier business, the Empanadas King. And I will turn it over to staff for a presentation.
Good morning, Joe. I'm sorry, where'd it go? I was
No
about to share
worries.
my screen with you, and I've had
Good morning, Mike.
morning. All of a sudden, I can't find my PowerPoint for this particular project.
That looks like Hetch Hetchy.
No, that's French Alps. Wow, gosh, it's open on my computer. I don't know why it's not open on here.
You can email it over if you want, Mike.
Yeah, sorry, this is embarrassing. Let me close some stuff. I got way too much stuff open here. Let me do this. Let me close that. Now let me go share screen again, and there it is. Okay. All right, there we go. And let me go into. There we go. Can you see it? Can you guys see that?
It
Okay.
looks fine.
All right. Good morning. Sorry for that. I'm actually, this project was originally reviewed, and the staff report and the graphics I'm about to show you were all prepared by a planner who's no longer with us, Wakar. He was a contract planner with the county, and but that contract expired actually on Monday. So I am stepping in to kind of keep the process going and get these two projects to the finish line. So the project before you, as you mentioned, is the applicant, Julio Cruz, also known as the Empanadas King, is requesting a use permit to establish a 20-seat restaurant in association with an existing wholesale food products business. Restaurants are not a principally permitted use in the M1 NFO zoning district, thus requiring the need for the requested use permit. Now, the project site is located at 2992 Spring Street in Unit D, shown here on this photo. Spring Street is this street right here, and Second Street is located right there. Unit D is the end unit facing on this end unit here facing onto Spring Street. Adjacent uses include a water delivery service in Unit A and 2 other wholesale food product suppliers in Units B and C. There's parking out front for the Empanadas King use. And so the proposed unit is a little over 1,500 square feet in size. The proposal is to convert a 450 square foot storage area within the unit into a small sit-down table area for up to 20 customers. The existing roll-up doors that access the space will be replaced by double swinging aluminum doors here in front. A counter to order food will be constructed, and improvements to the kitchen area will also be included as part of the use permit. Per the applicant's lease agreement with the property owner, Unit D has 3 available parking spaces where only 2 are required per the zoning regulations. And then this is just a street view image of picture of the unit itself. As discussed previously, the project site is zoned light industrial, and restaurants are not a principally permitted use in the zoning district, thus requiring the need for this use permit. As discussed in your staff report, staff has reviewed the proposed project against the policies of the general plan, the North Fair Oaks community plan, and the zoning ordinance, and found the project to be compliant with the policies contained in those regulations. With regards to the California Environmental Quality Act, the proposed project is categorically exempt from further review under Section 15301, which pertains to minor alterations in use or structures. And in closing, staff is recommending approval of this project subject to the required findings and conditions of approval identified in attachment A of your staff report. Are there any questions I can answer for you today, Joe?
Thank you for that presentation, Mike. No, I don't have any questions. I think the proposal is clear, and I've read the staff report and the conditions and findings. So prepared to move forward. But first, want to mention that we have not yet received any correspondence on this item, and but I will open the public hearing in case anybody from the public or the applicant would like to speak to this application.
This is public hearing for item number 2. If your hand is raised, your name will be called. I currently see 2 attendees on the line, and there are no hands raised for this item, Joe.
Okay, thank you very much, Janeth. And with that, I will close the public hearing. And I would like then to ask the applicant if they have read and understand the findings and conditions of approval outlined in the staff report. Do we have the applicant? Yes.
Yeah, I believe it's here. You see him, Janice?
Julio,
So Julio, you can go ahead and speak. Let me unmute your mic. And can you hear us?
Yes,
Or- there you go. Go ahead.
yeah, sorry. Yes, I understand everything. Thank you very much. And thank you for your time, guys. And thank you, Michael Schauer, for making my presentation. I'm here with the owner, my name is Rodrigo. I represent him because he had a stroke this week and he's in the hospital.
Oh, no.
So he's okay. He's gonna be great. So he's gonna be here the next week, but I'm authorized by him. But we understand everything. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Julio, and sorry to hear about the health problems. I hope, wish them well. So with that, I'm prepared to approve this project as proposed by the applicant and summarized in the staff report pursuant to the findings and the conditions in the staff report. And if anyone would like to appeal this approval, it can be appealed to the Planning Commission within 10 working days, as long as, in part, as long as the application includes a $616.35 appeal application fee, and I believe deadline for those appeals is February 16th. Thank you very much, and we will move on to item 3 on the agenda, which is a proposal by Hurlingham LLC, represented by Lei Yuan, and the planning case number is PLN 2021-00301. Project site 624 Hurlingham Avenue in North Fair Oaks, unincorporated San Mateo County. And this is also consideration of a non-conforming use permit to construct a 1,320 square foot, 2-story, single-family residence with non-conforming setbacks, daylight planes and parking on a non-conforming 2,500 square foot parcel in North Fair Oaks. And Mike, can you please present this project to us?
Yes, hold on, let me get my there we go. Cool.
I also, sorry, Mike, real fast. I do see the applicant on the other side of the attendee, and I just try to promote him. So just so you know, he is online.
Okay.
Thank you, Janet.
Great, thank you. As with the last project, this was also one of Wakar's projects that he was working on before his contract expired, and so I'm stepping in to make the presentation and hopefully answer any questions you may have. So the project before you is a request for a non-conforming use permit to develop a 2,500 square foot parcel in a single-family zoning district where the minimum parcel size is 5,000 square feet. There we go. The parcel is also 25 feet wide, where a 50-foot width is normally required. So both of these nonconformities trigger the need for a use permit. The parcel's legality was confirmed through the recordation of a certificate of compliance in 2019. As you can see in this air photo, the project site the neighborhood surrounding the project site contains a mix of conforming and non-conforming parcels. We have 5,000, there's a 25, another 25, another 25, 5. So there's a mix of smaller 2,500 square foot lots in this immediate area. This project parcel is one of the few remaining undeveloped parcels in the North Fair Oaks neighborhood. And here's actually just a street view photo of the vacant lot. The applicant is proposing to construct a 1,324 square foot, 2-story single family residence with an attached 1-car garage, which is about 225 square feet in size. Because of the narrow width of the parcel, the applicant is requesting an exception to the side yard setback on the left side. So only 3 feet where 5 feet is, I'm sorry, that's the right side. When you're from the street view facing the house, this would be the right side. So 3 feet on the right side where 5 foot would normally be required. And of course, also an exception to the daylight plane requirements. This side will already be encroaching into the normal 5 foot setback. So essentially all of this is an encroachment into the daylight plane on that side as well. There will be an encroachment into the daylight plane on this side as well. Also, due to the narrow nature of the subject parcel, the applicant is requesting an exception to the parking requirements, proposing a 1-car, an attached 1-car garage where 2 covered parking spaces is the standard. In addition to the new residence, the applicant has submitted a building permit application to construct an accessory dwelling unit in the rear yard area, which you see right here, in compliance with both county and state regulations regarding such units. Per state and county regulations, this unit is only subject to ministerial review and not before the zoning hearing officer as part of this use permit request. Just wanted to make that clear. As discussed previously, the parcel is below the minimum parcel size for this zoning district. Section 6133 of the zoning regulations requires the issuance of a use permit when a subject parcel is less than 3,500 square feet in a zoning district that requires 5,000, and the width is less than 35 feet, and again, in a zoning district where 50-foot width is the norm. The project also proposes, as I said, non-conforming side yard setback on the right side. The proposed left side yard setback is compliant at 5 feet. Adherence to the required side yard setbacks would result in a house that is only 15 feet wide and would not be able to accommodate a usable front entry and space for a building code compliant staircase. The additional 2 feet on the right side will allow for both. Also, as proposed, the second story will create non-conforming daylight planes on both sides of the house. Adherence to the daylight plane requirement would result in a non-functioning second floor. It would eliminate the hallway and potentially result in bedrooms that do not meet the minimum size under the building code. Finally, the project, as I mentioned, proposes a non-conforming 1-car garage where 2 side-by-side parking spaces is the norm. Given the limited size of the parcel, providing 2 standard size side-by-side covered spaces would not be feasible without creating additional side yard nonconformities and either reducing the habitable space of the house to an extent that makes the project untenable or creates a non-conforming floor area and lot coverage situation. With regards to the California Environmental Quality Act, the proposed project is categorically exempt from further review under Section 15303 of the CEQA guidelines pertaining to construction of small structures, including new single-family residences in residential zones. And in closing, staff is recommending approval of this project subject to the required findings and conditions of approval identified in attachment A of your report. Are there any questions I can answer for you today?
Thank you for that presentation, Mike. I've read the staff report and reviewed the plans, and I don't have any questions. So with that, I would like to, and I want to confirm that we have not received any correspondence on this item as of at this point in time. So I would like to now open a public hearing to give anyone from the public a chance to speak and also give the applicant a chance to speak as well.
Thanks, Joe. This is a public comment for item number 3. If your hand is raised, your name will be called. I do see a few attendees present, and I do see a phone number. So if you wish to speak, please press *9 to raise or unraise your hand. And then I also do see the applicant on the line. So if they desire to do so, can also raise their hand. This will be the time to do it. And okay, 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and unmute the applicant. 1 second. Or move him over, actually. Please hold.
Mr.
Can you hear
Yuan,
us?
feel free to go ahead and have share any comments that you may have. He's not a panelist yet.
Am I on mute now?
There you go.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
you
yeah.
Good morning. Good morning, Director and Planning Manager. My name is Lei, and I'm the applicant. I just want to, on behalf of our owners and applicants, thank you for planning efforts and comments and working with us.
Great, thank you. I can ask you now that whether you've read the staff report and concur with the findings and conditions of approval.
Yes, we have read that.
Great, thank you. Are there any other members of the public who would like to comment on this project?
No, there are no more hands raised, Joe.
Thank you, Janet. Well, hearing none, I will close the public hearing. I will have already asked the applicant, and they have read and understand the findings and conditions of approval and concur with them. So I'm prepared to approve this project as proposed pursuant to the findings and the conditions of approval in the staff report. This approval can be appealed to the Planning Commission within 10 working days, which is February the 16th. Any appeal application must include a $616.35 appeal fee. So Mike, thank you for presenting the project, and thank you to Ms. Yuan for representing the project before us. And we're ready to move on to agenda item number 4, which is located at, well, the owners are 2025 Camino al Lago in unincorporated San Mateo County. The applicant is Aaron Fukuhara, and the planning case number is PLN 2021-00272. And it's a consideration of a minor subdivision application to subdivide a 15,023 square foot parcel into one 7,512 square foot parcel and one 7,511 square foot parcel, again, located at 2025 Camino al Lago in West Menlo Park. And development of a project on the site, not the subdivision, but subsequent development on the site would impact potentially 5 significant trees. So with that, I'd like to turn the presentation over to Glenn Jaw. Good morning, Glenn.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm going to share my screen with you first. Okay, good morning, zoning hearing officer Leclerc and the members of the public. My name is Glenn Jia, planner 3 with the development and planner 3 with the Department of Planning and Building. The item before you is item 4, which is for a consideration of a minor subdivision application proposed by Mr. Aaron Fukuhara on behalf of 2161 Muse LLC. This minor subdivision application proposes to subdivide the 15,023 square foot parcel into one 7,512 square foot parcel and one 7,511 square foot parcel. The subject property is located at 2025 Camino Al Lago in the unincorporated West Menlo Park area of San Mateo County. Additionally, this project involves a tree removal of 5 significant size trees. The subject property is located in an urbanized single-family residential neighborhood, and Las Lomitas Elementary School is across the street from the subject property, and it's approximately 100 feet. The property is approximately 100 feet from the intersection of Camino Al Lago and Barney Avenue. The existing parcel is zoned for one single-family residential. Water will be supplied by California Water Service by an existing water line serving the project site. The West Bay Sanitary District will provide sewer service to the property. As you can see on the aerial map, the project site is developed with a single-family residence and accessory structures, which are proposed to be demolished under an active demolition permit. Please note that the structures to be demolished have no historic significance, according to a historic evaluation report. As discussed earlier in the presentation, this minor subdivision application is to subdivide the legal parcel into 2 smaller lots. As shown in table 1, the subdivision involves a tree removal of 5 significant size trees, ranging from 13.3 inch to 24.5 inch in diameter at breast height. The trees are identified with red arrows on the side plan to the right of the screen. Staff has concluded that the tree removal is necessary to carry out the proposed construction of 2 new single-family residences. These new residences are proposed under separate building permits. As discussed in the staff report, planning staff has reviewed the application and concluded that this minor subdivision proposal is in compliance with the general plan, zoning regulations, and subdivision regulations. As to environmental review, staff concludes that the application is categorically exempt under section 15315 of the California Environmental Quality Act guidelines. Class 15 consists of division of property in urbanized areas zoned for residential use into 4 or fewer parcels. And the application does not involve a variance or exception, and all services and access in compliance with the county standard are available. Staff recommends that the zoning hearing officer approve this minor subdivision application, county file number 2021-00272, by adopting the required findings and conditions of approval, identifying attachment A of the staff report. This concludes staff's presentation. I'm available for any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Glenn. I've read the staff report and reviewed the drawings. The drawings were very clear. You can pass those comments on to the applicant. So I don't have any questions at this time. And as I mentioned, we have not received any correspondence or comments on the item. However, I would like to open the public hearing now and provide an opportunity from anybody from the public who wishes to comment on this project, and also for the applicant to provide any comments or additional input.
Hi, we're now opening public comment for item number 4. If your hand is raised, your name will be called, and those calling by phone, if you wish to speak, please press *9 to raise or unraise your hand. Currently, I don't see anyone with their hands raised, and I did promote the applicant over to panelists. So if he wishes to speak, he could do so now.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, I just quickly wanted to thank Glenn for his effort pushing the application through the process.
Great, thank you, Mr. Fukuhara. And so is there anyone else from the public who wishes, while I've got you on the line, Mr. Fukuhara, I wanted to ask you whether you have read and understand and concur with the findings and conditions of approval in the staff report?
We have, yes.
Thank you. So is there anyone else from the public who wishes to comment on this application? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing and we'll approve this project as proposed by the applicant and modified by the conditions of approval in the staff report and pursuant to the findings in the staff report. And I'll note that this approval can be appealed to the Planning Commission within 10 working days. That is February the 16th. And any application for appeal must be accompanied by a appeal application fee of $616.35. And so that is the last item on our agenda. And I thank you all for, particularly the staff, for your excellent work preparing all these presentations and staff reports. And we'll convene again on February the 17th in 2 weeks' time for the next zoning hearing officer meeting here in San Mateo County. And with that, I will adjourn the meeting. Hi, Dan. Thanks very much. Bye now.
Thank you, Janet.
Aye, thank you, everyone.
No problem. Bye.
Thank you so much, Janet. Bye-bye.
No problem. Feel better. Bye.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
feel
Bye.
better.